Hi there, my name is David, and welcome to Ask the Worldwide Reb. We have a great question today. The question comes to us from Jed, who writes, Dear Rabbi Paskin, I was reading a book about the destruction of the Second Temple yesterday, and I began to wonder why the temple has not been rebuilt. The Second Temple was built within 70 years of the destruction of the first, so why has the Third Temple not been constructed? If the argument is that God, Hashem, should build the Third Temple, or at least let us know when the time is right, how does that interact with the Mishnah, that before the Red Sea parted, someone in the assembled masses had to take the first step into the sea? And yes, your album First Step was on my mind when pondering this. Well, first of all, Jed, thanks for the plug for the album First Step. One little correction in your question. The story of Nachshon ben Aminadav, the man who walked into the sea while Moses was waiting for some miracle to happen, it's actually not a Mishnah, it's a Midrash. It's a commentary, an explanatory commentary on the story of the parting of the Red Sea. And the full story is that while Moshe is crying out to God, God is saying, what are you waiting for? Go forward. Nachshon starts walking into the sea, and the sea doesn't part until just when the water reaches the tip of his nose. When he can't breathe anymore, the water splits. And of course, the wonderful lesson we can learn from that is that when we want to make miracles in the world, when we want to see things happen, we have to be the ones to take the initiative. So why don't we take the initiative in building the Third Temple? Wonderful question. Also a very heated political question, because we have to remember that where the temple used to be, there is now a very large, it's not a mosque. Most people think the Dome of the Rock is a mosque. It's not, but a very important Muslim site. So I would say that the first reason why we're not building the third, which is a very political one, is that we can't just take down the mosque. This is a very contentious plot of land. Lots of people feel that they have claims to it. Of course, we Jews have our own claims to it. But I think out of sensitivity, the vast majority of Jews would not want to just demolish the Dome of the Rock in order to build the Third Temple. You also suggest in your question that perhaps we're not supposed to build the Third Temple, that maybe we're supposed to wait and let God do that, or the Messiah do that. And you're absolutely right about that also. There's a tradition that says that we're not the ones who are going to build the temple, or again, like you mentioned, at least we won't know when the temple is going to be built. That really is up to the Messiah. That's up to the Mashiach, a messianic time when we will all be together again, there will be peace in the world, and the Third Temple will be rebuilt. Here's my take on the Messiah, and perhaps about building the Third Temple as well. I spend every moment of my life working for the Messiah to come. And by extension, I guess, the building of the Third Temple. But I want to let you in on a little secret, Jen. I don't really want it to get here. You see, when the Messiah comes, if my whole life is spent working for the bringing of the Messiah, then I'm out of a gig. I'm out of a job. If the Messiah comes, what am I supposed to do with myself? My purpose as a human being is to bring the Messiah. It's a little bit like recognizing the journey for its own sake, not about the destination. Being a Jew, to me, Jed, isn't about rebuilding the Third Temple as much as it is wanting to rebuild the Third Temple, yearning for something. In fact, we can learn that that's where God and holiness is found, in the yearning, in between. I'll leave you with this. There's a wonderful teaching about the mountain on which we both got the Ten Commandments and upon which Moshe first heard God's call. They're called two different names. They're called Mount Chorev when Moshe is there, when Moses hears that first call, and then it's called Mount Sinai when we're there. There's also another important difference. When Moses is on the mountain and God is telling him to go free the Egyptians, Moses sees something strange. He sees the burning bush, and he starts to come closer, and God stops him and says, stop. This is Adamat Kodesh. This is holy ground. Well, a few years later, when the Israelites are there, they see something happening. They see a smoking mountain, and what do? They fall back. They're afraid. They step away from the mountain. And in that story, God never says this is holy ground. Well, why was it holy when Moses was there, but not holy when the Israelites were there? The difference is perhaps in the fact that Moses yearned to come closer, but he couldn't. The Israelites didn't yearn to come closer, they yearned to move away. Holiness, Jed, and God, and perhaps even the third temple and the Messianic period, is not found in being there, building it, doing it, but instead in yearning for it, in working toward it, in striving to enter that sea even at our own peril. So I don't know when the third temple will be built, but I do know that I plan on working every day until it is. Thanks for the question. You can submit a question at worldwidereb.com, and I'll try and answer your question as well. Until next time, Lehitraot.
Singing A's and Amud, please tell me the page number, then I'll get with the crew.